2019 Verizon Vikings training camp continues at TCO Performance Center. We have an insider with us from ESPN. It's Dan Graziano, who knows the NFL inside and out from the national perspective, but he's going on the micro level here as your training camp tour continues. I'm sure we're not your first and only stop, but you're here in Minnesota.
First.
We're your first.
But not only, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're kicking it off the right way here in Minnesota. How's it going? How's your stay going?
It's been great. I mean, it's a good group to be around. I mean, I'm sure you know. I mean, but yeah, it's been. I like Minneapolis in the summertime.
All right, good. You were here in the wintertime for the Super Bowl. Now you're here in the summertime. You're taking it in. Now, when someone like Dan comes around here, he gets to talk to everybody. So you talk to Zim, I'm sure you talk to a lot of our players. What are you hearing? What are you finding out? What's the tenor of our camp?
Seems like the big message is, last year isn't who we are. We got to get back to what we were in 2017. The commitment to running the ball. Yep. Just talking to Kyle Rudolph now. He said, just kind of a sense of like everybody buying into what it takes to win games. So it seems like there's a bitter taste from last year that they really felt like they were about to do something special and then didn't do it. So maybe like a retrenching a little bit. Yeah. And I also find it interesting, the offseason, that they brought so many guys back that from the outside looking in, if you just looked at the numbers, like you would have said, oh, well, Anthony Barr, they're probably not going to pay him enough to keep him. Kyle Rudolph, maybe that contract doesn't work, right? Everson Griffin. So they were able to sort of keep the band together. Yep. And that tells me that they really believe that they can do something special.
You mentioned someone that I wanted to ask you about, Anthony Barr. And I don't know if you've met with him yet or not. Okay. So you haven't met with him yet, but you may before you leave. But at one point in the offseason, folks like yourself, you were getting ready to talk about Barr as a Jet. And then that reversed and he came back to Minnesota. What was that like for you, and what do you think it means to the Vikings?
Well, it was weird because it seemed, all the indications were that he had an agreement with the Jets and then changed his mind. So obviously that's strange, and it's a lesson in there's no deal until there's a deal, right? Until there's a signature. But yeah, I think what it told me, because they had all those decisions to make about extensions, and it was like I'm trying to think, Kendricks, and there were a couple extensions they did ahead of time, like the offseason before. So you start to think maybe he wasn't in the plan, that maybe that he just didn't fit. So, but the fact that they went and brought him back, it seems like it's so important to them to have that continuity on defense. It's been such a successful defense here that just, making sure that having everybody together who's been here is a priority. So, and the fact that if he was going to go to the Jets and then he changed his mind and came back, that tells me that he feels the same way. So I think you have a group, however they've put it together here, it seems like you have a group that feels ownership of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Vikings, it's a team that obviously they have Kirk Cousins, they have Diggs and Thielen, right, and Dalvin Cook and Rudy, names on offense, but it's a Mike Zimmer team. The backbone of the team, it would appear to most people, would be the defense. In a division where you have Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago. Now, Chicago's defense is good, but, those two teams, you think about offenses when you think about those two teams. The Vikings, you think about defense. What do you think about the Vikings' place in the landscape of the NFC North?
I think they should have as good a chance as anybody. I think Chicago, people will make them a favorite because of what they did last year. But they lost some pieces on defense, and one of them is the coordinator. That's a big deal. Vic Fangio leaving to go coach the Broncos. I know, people in that organization were very upset that it happened. Happy for him, but upset to lose him. So we'll see how that comes together. They lost some pieces in the secondary, but I would make the Vikings and Bears kind of co-favorites at this point. And I actually kind of think I like the Vikings on paper. But I don't think there's any reason to think that they shouldn't fit into that landscape, especially if they can do what they want to do on offense. If they really feel like they have the offensive line figured out, if Cook can stay healthy, these are big ifs, obviously, around here. But if those, then I think they can do what they want to do on offense and maybe do a better job of winning those games in the fourth quarter that they struggled with last year.
Hope your stay continues to go well. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, he's going to go get Juicy Lucy's. We're going to go interview other people, and you guys are going to keep watching Vikings.com. See ya.